Right now, we are waiting for autopsy results after 2 people were found dead in a Sauk City home. We'll tell you what we know so far.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us here on News 3 Now this morning on a Monday, June 3rd. Our Josh Spreiter feeling a little under the weather today.
A little sick today.
He is, and he's missing a beautiful day.
That is if he is sick, really.
Oh,
no.
We have some questions, Josh.
You never know on a Monday. Well, let's take a look at the Henry Vilas Zoo. The polar bears have been busy so far this morning. They've already been in the pool. Looks like now they're taking a break before breakfast, maybe, but they have the right idea. It is going to be a beautiful day today. Hope you have a chance to get outside and enjoy some of this nice weather that we have. Little cool to start. Here in Madison, we're at 46. It's 46 in Janesville, 48 rather in Janesville, 46 in the Dells. Temperatures are in the low 50s in the southwestern corner of the state. A nice warm up though is expected today. We're expected to climb to highs in the mid 70s this afternoon. Winds will stay light from the south today. Let's take a look at those traffic maps early this morning. If you are planning to head out the door in a couple of minutes, no major delays, but there are some brake lights showing up at Stoughton Road and the Beltline. That's pretty typical for this time of the day. No other accidents to report though. I checked around the region. We're looking at travel going at posted speeds heading into Madison.
Boy, I was really hoping to take my cues from the polar bears today and head over to Josh's pool.
I guess not today, right?
Not today, not without
feeling
him.
under the weather.
All right, thank you, Hattie.
You're welcome.
Breaking news overnight. We are following developments out of Sauk County this morning, where 2 people were found dead in their home yesterday. Sauk Prairie police say they responded to a call for a welfare check at a home on Monroe Street in the village of Sauk City. Concerned neighbors tell News 3 Now they called for that welfare check when they didn't see or hear from their neighbors in about a week. Officers found those residents dead inside their home. Police say this situation is a good reminder of why checking on your neighbors is important.
If you see something that's out of the ordinary, that is concerning or just different than normal, contact your local police department and have us check into it. Worst case scenario is everything is fine, and as we talk to the people, they're put at ease, the neighbors are. But neighbors watching neighbors is what we're looking for.
Neighbors also noted the residents' grass, which is typically well kept, was getting noticeably long. The names of those residents are being withheld until the family has been notified. The cause of death, is not known yet this morning. Anyone with information is asked to call the Sauk Prairie Police Department. Their phone number is right there on your screen. We are learning more about the suspect in a mass shooting that killed 12 people and injured several others in Virginia Beach on Friday. Police say Dwayne Craddock was a disgruntled city employee. He opened fire in the Virginia Beach Municipal Center, killing his boss, 10 co-workers, and a private contractor. 2 local churches held vigils for those victims on Sunday. Investigators are still looking into a motive in that shooting. More local news this morning. The founders of a Rastafarian church here in Madison are facing more charges after yet another arrest within just a day of getting out on bond. 23-year-old Dylan Bangert was arrested Friday night on 2 charges of possessing marijuana and felony bail jumping. 39-year-old Jesse Schwark was arrested Saturday morning on a domestic-related disorderly conduct charge and 2 bail jumping charges. Officers raided the Lion of Judah Church just days before. The 2 owners had been under a court order banning possession of any controlled substances, including THC, while they were out on bond. All right, a heads up for those of you hoping to take out the bike sometime this week. A portion of the Capital City bike path will be closed starting today. The stretch between Jackson Street and the Goodman Community Center could be closed for up to 2 weeks while crews resurface about a half mile of that trail. If you use the path on your morning commute, there will be a marked detour along St. Paul Avenue and Wabisa Street. All right, here's another reason for you to jump on 2 wheels sometime this week. It is Madison Bike Week. Amy Reed is live with us this morning with a look at what we can look forward to. Amy, where's your helmet?
I know. I didn't even bike today. What the heck is wrong with me? Madison's a bike-loving city. I've noticed that since I moved here. And even this early this morning, we're right along a bike path, and there have been maybe a dozen bikers that have gone by. I'm very impressed with them. Today, we are talking about Bike Week. Joining me is Harold. He's the board president for Madison Bikes. Tell me a little bit about Bike Week.
Good morning. So I'm really excited about Madison Bike Week. We have a lineup of over 75 events, and Madison Bike Week is really there to celebrate biking in Madison because, as you said, biking in Madison is pretty awesome. Lots of people do it, and so we need a whole week to celebrate that.
Right, definitely a whole week to celebrate it. I mean, yeah, you love it. You even biked here to meet us for this interview.
How else would I get here? I mean.
So what are the big events that people should look forward to?
Yeah, I mean, we already had one of the big events yesterday with Ride to Drive, where you have thousands of people on John Nolan Drive biking out there, people who otherwise maybe wouldn't bike. I'm really excited later today, this morning actually, we're going to just stick around here and have the City of Madison ride. So there's one of them starting here, where several of the Common Council members are going to ride their bikes toward the Madison Municipal Building. And on the east side in Tenney Park, our mayor is going to ride with us, and we're going to have a nice press conference later today. And other than that, I mean, I said like 75 events. You can go to our website, madisonbikes.org, and find all of them. And the big party at Brittingham Park on Friday, I think that's another highlight. So lots of stuff going on.
Tons of stuff. And what does it mean to you to see the mayor riding in this?
I mean, that really makes me really, really happy. The mayor and the Common Council have declared Madison Bike Week as an official city event, and we've been working with the city to put it all together. So it really means a lot to me. And as an advocacy organization, you know, over the year, part of our job is to complain about things that could be better. I mean, biking in Madison is great, but it maybe could be even greater. But during Bike Week, we really have to celebrate it. And so we want to celebrate it with the city. We want to celebrate it with the mayor.
That's awesome. It'll be fun to see. We'll be covering that later on today on the rest of our shows on News 3 Now. And we are at the Crazy Legs Plaza. That's one of the places that you can start this bike ride that he was talking about. Another one over at Tenney Park. For now, I'll send it back to you, Leah.
All right, Amy Reed in need of some of her own wheels this morning. Thank you, Amy. 6:07 your time now. Lakeweed pickup is back on for Madison residents this morning, and this year it's expanding to Lake Monona as well. Starting tomorrow and going through August, shoreline barge crews will be picking up trash and debris from residents' piers on Lake Mendota, Monona, and Kaganza. The goal is to improve the overall water quality. They'll only pick up the vegetation that's washed up on shore, not any yard waste. It does have to be placed on your dock by 7 a.m. on the Monday of your designated pickup week. All right, here's a reason to keep an extra careful eye out on your morning commute today. Deer Crash Awareness Month is kicking off with the start of June. The DOT and Wisconsin State Patrol warned that this month, drivers are most likely to crash into a deer. That's thanks to an increase in traffic volumes. Deer Crash Awareness Month is now underway. The DOT and Wisconsin State Patrol are keeping an eye out there for you. More than 20,000 deer crashes were reported last year, with 515 injuries and 4 motorcyclist deaths. In Rock County this morning, the city of Janesville is trying to get out ahead of what may be some confusion over property assessments. The Janesville Gazette reports the average residential property value increased this year by 31%. It's up from $122,200 to $160,800. That process started last summer after assessments fell to just under 83% of fair market value, meaning the city was out of compliance with state law. The city assessor wants people to know an increase in value doesn't necessarily mean paying more in property taxes. If any residents have questions about their assessments, they can schedule appointments with the city. All right, 6:08 your time now. A man who grew up in an Amish community here in Wisconsin is sharing his experiences growing up and why he decided to leave. We'll hear from him still ahead. But first, Teddy has a pretty great week in store for us weather-wise. Plenty of sun today. Take a look at that sunrise before another chance for rain does move in tonight. She'll tell us what we can expect for our work week. That's next on News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning from the Hattie-O patio. A little chilly outside right now, and we even have a bit of cloud cover overhead. Lots of sunshine, though, in our forecast yesterday, and I had a ton of pictures that people sent in of the halo that formed around the sun. This one I picked, Patricia sent it in. She said she took it while kayaking on Lake Wingra. We all know Leah loves to kayak. Beautiful picture of the halo around the sun. Many people wondering what caused it. Well, it's caused by ice crystals that are high in the atmosphere in those cirrus clouds, not about 20,000 feet above the surface of the Earth. And they act like prisms, and they just sort of scatter and reflect the light, and that halo forms in the perfect conditions. So nice to see it. Not something that you see every day, but one of the old weather sayings goes, halo around the moon, rain is soon. You can also get this kind of optical phenomenon around the moon, and it often indicates that there will be a change in the weather pattern. Those high-level cirrus clouds are often our first indication that things are changing, and we do have some rain in the forecast, not today, but overnight tonight into Tuesday. Take a look at the GFS Future Track model. It starts at 7:30 tomorrow morning with some rain pushing into southwestern Wisconsin. There will be on and off shower and thunderstorm chances through the day on Tuesday, right into Wednesday, but that rain should be diminishing as we go through the day on Wednesday. Rain totals are not going to be terribly high, which is a good thing. We still don't need a lot of moisture across southern Wisconsin, but just be aware that you may get wet Tuesday into early Wednesday. The rest of the week, though, actually shaping up pretty nicely. Nothing imminent right now on that radar map. Things are pretty quiet around here. Here's a view from the WISC-TV Skycam. We had a pretty nice sunrise this morning, but now those clouds thickening up just a little bit over the last 15 to 30 minutes. 46 is our temperature here in Madison and the Dells, 50 in Mineral Point. Prairie du Chien and Lone Rock are in the 50s as well. Now, here's a look at your dew point trend through the day today. It is going to be a warm day with highs in the mid to upper 70s, but look at those dew point numbers staying in a very comfortable range. The air remaining pretty dry here in southern Wisconsin. Your Future Track forecast model shows you an east wind this morning, shifting to the south for most of us this afternoon. The exception would be along the lake shore as that lake breeze develops later on today. Look at the difference in temperatures. 62 for a high in Milwaukee, 75 here in Madison, 78 in Prairie du Chien. So it really does make a difference that lake water is still pretty cool. And when you get those easterly winds off the lake, that keeps temperatures down. No rain through the evening, so if you have evening plans, should be just fine. Rain chances again Tuesday into early Wednesday, but overall a pretty nice forecast coming up with highs remaining in the 70s. Now it's time to get a look at that traffic report this morning. Here are all the maps. Josh Tim has the details. Good morning, Josh.
Yeah, good morning. Looking good so far on the Beltline. Really nothing to slow you down heading east or westbound at this point. Other roads here in Dane County are looking good as well. Just watching the usual brake lights on northbound Verona Road and Stoughton Road approaching the Beltline. No delays downtown around campus. Plan on things picking up over the next hour or so. And other main routes leading into Madison, they're moving along at the posted speeds with no major crashes or delays. Your First Alert Traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Thank you, Josh, and thank you, Hattie. New this morning, we are sharing the story of a 24-year-old man from Wisconsin who left the only world he knew with the Amish at age 17. He was the only one of his 12 siblings to leave behind that lifestyle. Danielle Church has his story from North Dakota.
There is no snapshot of the moment John Schrock was born, his first day of school, or any other milestone from his childhood. That changed when he turned 17.
It was my third day being out at the Amish when I had my first photo taken.
Schrock grew up on a dairy farm in an Amish community in Wisconsin, where he says he was constantly trying to live up to perfection.
If you're going to go to heaven, you got to be a good Amish kid, right? So I was tried to be the best.
His best never seemed to cut it, especially with his father.
I called him prideful. Later that day, he was like, well, since you know everything now, you have to punish me. So I had to spank him with a whip.
That made him realize feeling emotionally tortured just wasn't worth it anymore. On July 11th, 2011, Schrock wrote a simple note for his family. I left. He slept in an abandoned barn that night. A farmer then drove him to Hillsboro, Wisconsin, and eventually Schrock met his adoptive family. His adopted father knew his story all too well.
He had left 15 years before me, and someone had taken him in as well. He was, I guess, just doing it for me now the same way they had done it for him.
His new siblings and parents would be exactly what he needed to survive the modern world.
I was almost like a small kid again. I didn't know anything, about this world, and they were there to teach me things and, you know, show me, no, you don't do things like this or say things like this.
Schrock eventually learned even more while attending Fargo's Masters Baptist College in August 2012. But his friends would also show him the acceptance he had been longing for his whole life.
I can be honest about who I am and not have to put on a show.
While he still doesn't take many photos,
I'm not a selfies guy.
it's being able to enjoy the small things he never experienced
You can just do fun things or, you know, going bowling. I didn't know what bowling was.
that continue to make his decision to leave all worth it.
Now, Schrock says the hardest part about leaving the Amish community was learning English, since his first language is Pennsylvania Dutch. The second hardest, ordering food at a restaurant. All right, 6:18 your time now. People living along a busy stretch of highway are learning they're going to have to get used to the sound of traffic. We'll tell you why those folks over in Sun Prairie are being told sound barriers are not going to be installed along Highway 151. But first, a bit of a cool start to the day, so the kids might need a jacket as they wait for the bus this morning. Definitely won't need it for the trip home, though. Hattie has another gorgeous afternoon in store. She's in next when News 3 Now This Morning returns. Welcome back. We were just talking about photos being taken from a kayak. I think today might be the day I finally take my own photos from my kayak.
Will it be the first day of the season for you?
It will be.
Not a bad day to do it.
No.
I'm sure a lot of people were out in the water yesterday doing anything outside because it was absolutely gorgeous.
Beautiful day.
Yep, and that continues today. We're lucky. Take a look over here at the Queen Bee Radio Skycam in Platteville this morning, showing you just a little bit of cloud cover in the area right now. Sunshine will be making an appearance, though, for the afternoon. Temperatures under those clouds clouds in southwestern Wisconsin have been pretty consistent in the 50s this morning. We had clear skies overnight for most of the time here in Madison, so temperatures actually dropped into the 40s. 46 is where we've been for the last couple of hours. The Dell's now up to 47. It's 48 in Janesville. Here's a look at that weather track map showing you satellite and radar combined. You're not going to see any rain from these clouds this morning, but a little bit of cloud cover moving through the area from northwest to southeast. Our forecast is actually pretty quiet, turning mostly sunny this afternoon. Temperatures a little cool early on. As you head to the bus stop, you might want a light jacket or a sweatshirt. Definitely be carrying it this afternoon with highs in the mid-70s. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much, Hattie. All right, it is not the news residents along Highway 151 in Sun Prairie wanted to hear. They will not be getting a sound barrier to stop the noise coming from that highway. Several homes back right up to the street, which means for them the noise is constant. While it's something many have simply learned to live with, there were hopes for a solution.
They said, boy, the sound is really bad here from Highway 151, and we've noticed, you know, sound barriers on other highways. Could we get one here in Sun Prairie?
That right there is City Council President Bill Connors. City engineers told him sound barriers would simply cost too much. Plus, that highway doesn't qualify for a barrier because homes there came after the highway was built, not the other way around. All right, it's looking like a pretty great forecast to get out on a bike trail this morning and maybe join the group of folks riding their bikes to work today as part of the Madison City Ride. That includes Madison's new mayor and our very own Amy Reed. She's back in just a few minutes to talk about some of the other things planned for Madison Bike Week. That's when News 3 Now This Morning returns.
For the
Breaking overnight, police are investigating after 2 people were found dead in a Sauk City home. We'll share what we know so far.
It's Bike Week in Madison. I'll show you how you can celebrate coming up.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the final half hour of News 3 Now this morning on this Monday, June 3rd. We are all a little envious of Emmy Reed's assignment today because it's just a perfect day to be out biking. Hattie is out on the patio taking in that sunshine already this morning. Hey, Hads.
Good morning, Leah. It is a beautiful start to this Monday morning. We do have a little bit of cloud cover in the area, but plenty of sunshine is expected for the afternoon. Let's take a live look from the WISC-TV Skycam. You can see the clouds breaking up just a little bit overhead here on the west side of town. You're probably noticing a little bit of cloud cover in your backyard this morning. Weather track is showing you that there are some clouds drifting through the area. As we head towards the afternoon, though, look for skies to turn partly sunny. We do have kind of a chilly start this morning, especially if you're taking the bike early today here in Madison. Temperatures are down in the mid-40s right now, 50s though in southwestern Wisconsin. A pretty quick warm-up though is expected. If you have a light jacket this morning, you won't need it later on today. And don't forget those sunglasses either. Temperatures will be climbing into the mid-70s this afternoon as you head home from work or school. Now here's a look at your traffic report early this morning at 6:30. We're not noticing any major delays, but there are some slowdowns on Verona Road as you approach the Beltline. Pretty typical for this time of the day. A few slowdowns showing up at Stoughton Road in the Beltline as well. You can see you're adding an extra minute or two, but nothing major just yet.
Well, I know Josh is under the weather today, Hads, but I feel like somebody has to take advantage of his pool. Maybe we sneak over a little bit later.
Maybe he's not that sick. Who knows? If he's sick, though, we don't want to share in any of that, do we?
That is very true. Next day.
There will be other pool days coming up.
You're right. Thank you, Hattie.
You're welcome.
Breaking news overnight. We are following developments out of Sauk County this morning, where 2 people were found dead in their home yesterday afternoon. Sauk Prairie police say officers responded to a call for a welfare check at a home on Monroe Street in the village of Sauk City. Neighbors had called the police because they were concerned they hadn't seen or heard from the people who lived there in about a week. Inside the home, officers found the 2 residents dead. The names of those residents are being withheld until the family has been notified. The cause of death is not known this morning. Fighting in the street over the weekend. Police say the 42 and 48-year-olds used steel poles, wooden stakes, and electrical cords as weapons to fight each other near James Madison Park. Both men were arrested on charges of disorderly conduct while armed. An autopsy is underway this morning for a man from Elkhorn who died while competing in the Lake Mills Triathlon yesterday. The investigation shows the 59-year-old man had a medical incident before going underwater during the swimming portion of that race. The event's rescue team did try CPR on the shore. He was later pronounced dead at the hospital. His death is not being considered a drowning. Happening later today, people are gathering in La Crosse for a conference focused on answering some of life's biggest questions. The International Death, Grief, and Bereavement Conference starts today up in UW La Crosse. This year's conference is titled Hospice and the Arts, Coping with Dying and Grief. That's where they'll be talking about best practices and therapies for dealing with grief, along with mental health and how to handle conflict during those tough times. Leaders at the conference are offering their own advice as well, saying things like journaling, poetry, and drawing can help people deal with the topic of death.
I think the deceased would want us to live our lives fully. And so part of our strategy is to try to help people to learn to live with the death. You don't get over dying. You don't get over your grief. You just learn to live with it.
The conference starts today and runs through Wednesday. All right, 6:31 your time now. If you're a biker, there might be a lot more people out on the trails this morning. Madison Bike Week continues with the city ride today. Amy Reed is joining us this morning to tell us what it's all about. Good morning, Amy.
Morning, Leah. This is a holiday made for Madison. Even this early this morning, we've seen dozens of bikers biking by this bike path behind me. And today we're going to talk a little bit more about this. We got Harold from Madison Bikes here with us to tell us more about Bike Week. This is the organization's first year taking over completely for this. What kind of personal touch have you guys put on it?
Well, you know, we're an all-volunteer organization, and so we've been really working with volunteers, with the community to make this happen. Like, we had people out there distributing flyers or putting chalk on the bike path. So if you've been out there, you might have seen, like, Madison Bike Week is coming, chalked on the bike path. And yeah, working with partners, with local businesses, with neighborhood associations to put together all these events that are happening over the course of the week. So I think that's really been great and great experience for us.
Now, we have a ride coming up today, but what other events, what's your favorite that's going to happen this week?
I think I have to be a little bit impartial about that because, of course, I love all the events. We're just putting it together and organizing it. But having said that, I mean, we do have a big party at the end of Bike Week on Friday that Madison Bikes as an organization has put it together. So we're going to be in Brittingham Park with food carts, with kids activities, with tabling from other community organizations, and with free beer from various beer sponsors. So yeah, I am excited about that.
Definitely. So tell me a little bit more about the ride today. We are at the Crazy Legs Plaza, which is one of the takeoff points, but what should people expect?
Yeah, so we call that the City of Madison ride because our mayor is going to ride. She's going to be riding from Tenney Park, and we have several members of the Common Council who are going to ride with us. We have city staff, we have the city's director of transportation, and people from the community who are going to be meeting up at these 2 points, as you have said, Crazy Legs Plaza and Tenney Park, and we're going to converge in front of the city-county building for a press conference. So that's pretty cool.
I'm putting you on the spot here, but how many miles do you think that you're going to bike this week?
50.
50.
We have 75 events. They're all over the city, and I'm gonna try to hit a whole bunch of them and get free pizza, free bacon, brat cakes, bacon cheddar waffles, root beer, and whatever else there's on offer.
So the 50 miles is probably a good call with the bacon, the brats, the breakfast, definitely. Okay. Yep. Thanks so much for being with us early this morning. Leah, I'll send it back to you.
50 miles, putting the rest of us to shame. All right, Amy Reed, thank you very much. 6:34 your time now. Madison's first openly gay mayor is celebrating the start of Pride Month by raising a rainbow flag downtown today. Satya Rhodes Conway will take part in that event at noon today at the Madison Municipal Building. The city kicked off Pride Month over the weekend as the calendar flipped over to June. The UW Facebook page posted this photo over the weekend of rainbow-colored terrace chairs at the Memorial Union. There are a host of other events taking place across the city all month. The valedictorian of Sheboygan Lutheran High School says administrators banned him from speaking at his own graduation because of his sexuality. At the school's commencement ceremony last Friday, Nat Worth graduated with a 4.0. Traditionally, as valedictorian, he would have addressed his senior class, but he never got that chance. In a draft of Worth's speech, he wrote, quote, "Absolutely no one should have to go through what I have gone through simply to come to the conclusion that homosexuality is not a sin."
I told them that I wanted to work together to write a speech that would be appropriate to give at graduation, and they didn't want to hear it. They said that their suspicions had been confirmed and that they didn't trust me to give what I had written, regardless if we worked together or not.
Instead, Worth watched the salutatorian in class give speech. School administrators did not respond to a request for comment, but they told Worth's parents the decision had nothing to do with his sexuality, and instead that they were worried about him staying on script. 6:35 your time now. A high schooler says a medication that more than 2/3 of women are on caused her to have a stroke. We're sharing her warning to others. That's up next on News 3 Now this morning. right, we always ask you to share your morning with us here on News 3 Now this morning, and Joel sent in this gorgeous shot just outside of Fort Atkinson. Hattie was saying this is a scene that we might see a lot this week. Just beautiful sunrises with a little bit of cloud cover, so thanks so much, Joel, for the shot. What does your morning look like? Take a picture, post it on our Facebook page or over on Twitter or Instagram, and use the hashtag MyNews3Morning. Josh and I like to share our favorites right here on the program. All right, a new project in the Dane County Jail is hoping to change lives, not just for the people housed there, but for their children, too. UW Extension has redesigned and revamped the visitation room at the jail to be more kid-friendly and educational. They also converted an old vending machine into a book vending machine, so visiting kids can bring home a brand new book for free. The idea for the project stems from research being done at the university, showing children of jailed parents often lag behind their peers in literacy skills. Dane County is one of 6 jails in Wisconsin that's part of this pilot project. An 18-year-old high school student here in Wisconsin says it was a pill that 2/3 of young women take that caused her to have a stroke. Cudahy High School senior Hannah Drummond is sharing her story so other women can be aware of the warning signs. She was in gym class when the left side of her body went completely numb. At the hospital, she learned she has a hole in her heart. That complication, combined with the birth control pills she's taking, caused the stroke.
They said that the birth control that I was taking, the estrogen in it caused a blood clot, which must have slipped through the hole and up to my brain.
What a scary moment. Hannah is only 18, and she's not the only person with this story. A study from the Loyola University Medical Center found that if you do not have stroke risks, you likely won't experience birth control complications. But for those like Hannah who already have those risk factors, taking birth control pills can significantly increase your risk of a stroke. Now, Hannah says part of her vision is still impaired, but she does expect to make a full recovery. She doesn't want other women to be scared of birth control, but she is encouraging others to find out what works for you and tell someone if something doesn't feel right. What a brave young woman sharing her story this morning. All right, 6:41 your time now. Hattie's looking ahead to a week full of sunshine with just a couple of chances for rain. None of that today, though. Just a beautiful Monday in store to start your work week. Hattie's in next with the details. But first, if you have a little kid turning 3 soon, please let us know so we can show their picture on TV. Thanks for watching News 3 Now this morning. right, we are wishing Josh Spreiter a speedy recovery this morning. He's not feeling very well because we want to take our cues from the polar bears and jump into that pool. He's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. All right, Hattie has a beautiful day to sit by the pool. We will check in with her in just a few minutes. Around the state this morning, Wisconsin farmers are looking ahead as there are talks about the Trump administration's threats to impose new tariffs on Mexico as early as next week. Wisconsin farmers are already dealing with tariffs imposed on China by the Trump administration, and both Wisconsin senators agree that tariffs are not what Wisconsin farmers want. But Greenleaf farmer Jeremy Zerbel says tariffs are the best option, even though they directly impact dairy farmers here in the state.
I think in the long run, it's going to be positive for us. Working these tariffs out, that's what we need.
Trump tweeted last week, that the U.S. will impose a 5% tariff on all goods from Mexico until migrants stop coming through that country and into the U.S. A little bit of good news for farmers, some gorgeous weather, dry weather.
Yeah, after the month of May that we had, they definitely need things to dry out, and dry weather is in the forecast, just a little bit of rain. Let's take a look at the high temperature trend, though. Normals for this time of the year, mid to upper 70s as we get towards the middle of next week. So for the next 10 days, you see a nice trend. We stay pretty close to normal. Outside of 80 on Wednesday, we're in the 70s for the next 10 days. Now, here's a look at what's happening on our future track forecast model. Here, high pressure in control of the weather to the south and east of us, but still close enough to give us lots of sunshine through today, especially for the afternoon. Now, our next storm system is approaching from the west, and as this warm front lifts northward, we're going to see more moisture move into the area in the form of clouds overnight tonight. No rain, though, before midnight. There will be chances for rain tomorrow morning through the day on Tuesday as the system tracks right across southern Canada and northern Wisconsin. With a cold front moving through during the morning hours on Wednesday, still can't rule out a few showers or thunderstorms then as well, but high pressure building back in for late Wednesday should start to clear things out for the evening. So a pretty nice forecast coming up for this week. Here's a look at your airport delays. None showing up on the map right now across the United States, so that is good news. If today is your travel day, take a look at these temperatures and note the warmth across the southern tier of the United States. A lot of 90s in the forecast today. 90 in Atlanta, 98 in Jacksonville, Dallas tops at 90 as well, even 75 in Omaha. 88 in Bismarck. We are going to start to warm up around here through the middle of the week, but today staying pretty pleasant through the Great Lakes region with high temperatures in the 70s. Now, we're not anywhere close to the 70s this morning here. Temperatures are in the 40s, but take a look at these milder conditions to the south and west. Temperatures in the 60s through the plains as that warm air begins to lift northward. Here in southern Wisconsin, we have 46 right now in Madison, 48 in Janesville, 46 in Watertown. Temperatures have been sitting in the low 50s, though, for the last couple of hours in southwestern Wisconsin. That's due to a little bit of cloud cover. Here's a look at our wind speeds this morning. Very light from the east, so not doing much to slow you down at all this morning. If you are planning to bike, the winds won't be an issue today. They'll stay 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's a look at your future track forecast model. Again, starting off on a cool note, any bit of cloud cover that we have in the area this morning will begin to clear out as we head towards the afternoon. So mostly sunny skies. Already by lunchtime back to 63 in Madison, closing in on 70 in Mineral Point. Take a look at the high temperatures, though, this afternoon. With that wind staying off of Lake Michigan, it'll be much cooler in Milwaukee with highs in the low 60s, where we're in the mid 70s here for south central and southwestern Wisconsin. No rain through the evening hours. Again, all those rain chances holding off until overnight tonight into Tuesday. It's going to warm up through Tuesday and Wednesday, but then dry weather returns with very comfortable conditions for the end of the week, Thursday and Friday, looking absolutely gorgeous. Oh, here's Odie in Sun Prairie. Is that like a wheelie carrying bag for the dog?
I don't know, but I want people to take me on a walk like that.
I know.
Put your feet up, Odie.
That is pretty cool.
What a cutie.
Nice day for a walk today, this afternoon especially. Low humidity, sunshine, pleasant temps.
All right, Odie, you can probably walk today.
I think so.
Thank you, Hattie.
You're welcome.
Stay with us. The Morning Sprint is up next on News 3 Now this morning. It's 6:52, time for the morning sprint as our team gets you ready to start your work week. We start with a developing story this morning in Sauk County. That's where 2 people were found dead in their Sauk City home yesterday. Sauk Prairie police say they responded to a call for a welfare check at a home on Monroe Street in that city. Concerned neighbors tell News 3 Now they didn't see or hear from the 2 in about a week. There is no word on a cause of death yet this morning. The founders of a Rastafarian church here in Madison are facing more charges after another arrest, just a day out of getting out of jail. The 2 were arrested on charges including bail jumping and possession of marijuana. They're under a court order banning possession of any controlled substances, including THC, while they're out on bond. An autopsy is underway this morning for a man from Elkhorn who died while competing in the Lake Mills Triathlon this weekend. The investigation shows the 59-year-old man had a medical incident before going underwater during the swimming portion of that race. The event's rescue team did try CPR on the shore. He was later pronounced dead at the hospital. Lake weed pickup is back on for Madison residents this week, but this year the Dane County Partnership is expanding to the Monona side as well. Starting tomorrow and running through August, shoreline barge crews will be picking up aquatic trash and debris from residents' piers. It has to be placed on your dock by 7 a.m. the Monday of your designated pickup week.
Temperatures are just a little bit on the cool side this morning. Some spots in the 40s here in Madison and Watertown and Juneau. We're at 46 degrees, 50s to the west. Now up to 52 in Boscoville. Temperatures, though, are expected to climb quickly, turning mostly sunny through the afternoon. By lunchtime, already in the 60s, climbing to highs right around 75 degrees later on this afternoon.
Thank you, Hattie. President Trump is in London today for the start of a 3-day state visit to the UK. This evening, the President and First Lady will be the guests of honor at a banquet hosted by Queen Elizabeth at Buckingham Palace. Tomorrow, President Trump is expected to join British Prime Minister Theresa May at St. James's Palace for a meeting with business leaders. We are learning more about the suspect in a mass shooting that killed 12 people and injured several others in Virginia Beach on Friday. Police say Dwayne Craddock was a city employee. He opened fire in the Virginia Beach Municipal Center, killing his boss, 10 co-workers, and a private contractor. 2 local churches held vigils for the victims on Sunday. Investigators are still looking for a motive in that shooting. Madison's first openly gay mayor is celebrating the start of Pride Month by raising a rainbow flag downtown. Satya Rhodes Conway will take part in that event at noon today at the Madison Municipal Building. The city kicked off Pride Month over the weekend as the calendar flipped to June. The UW Facebook page posted this photo over the weekend of rainbow-colored terrace chairs at the Memorial Union. And here's a reason to keep an extra careful eye out on your morning commute on this Monday. Deer Crash Awareness Month is kicking off with the start of June. The DOT and Wisconsin State Patrol warn that this month, drivers are most likely to crash into a deer thanks to an increase in traffic volumes. Wisconsin Public Radio reports more than 20,000 deer crashes were reported last year. It's not the news residents along Highway 151 in Sun Prairie wanted to hear. They're learning a sound barrier will not be their answer to the noise coming from the highway. City engineers say those barriers would simply cost too much. Plus, that highway doesn't qualify for them because the homes came after the highway was built, not the other way around. A heads up for anybody hoping to take the bike out sometime this week. A portion of the Capital City Bike Trail will be closed starting today. The stretch between Jackson Street and the Goodman Community Center could be closed for up to 2 weeks while crews resurface about a half mile of the trail. For any commuters, there is a detour along Wabisa Street.
We're in the middle of Bike Week here in Madison. Today there is a City of Madison bike ride. It starts at either Tenney Park at the Trek Bike Station or here at Crazy Legs Plaza. If you go to Tenney Park, you can ride with the mayor, common council members, and city staff. If that doesn't sound your speed, there are dozens of events. You can check out all those details on madisonbikes.org. Just follow the links to Bike Week.
All right, thank you very much, Amy. 6:57 your time now. Let's turn it over to Josh Tim with a look at your first alert traffic. Hey, Josh.
Morning, guys. Beltline's still moving well. No major delays showing up. Just watch for that westbound side to continue to pick up over the next hour or so. Inbound side of John Nolan looking good. Nothing to slow you down heading into the downtown area. Southbound Highway 151, you're tapping the brakes between Columbus and Sun Prairie. That's from ongoing road work, but other main routes leading into Madison still moving along at the posted speeds with no crashes or delays. Your first alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Thank you very much, Josh. Have a great Monday.
And here's the view from the WISC-TV Skycam. Broken cloud cover right now across the west side of town and much of southern Wisconsin. Day planner temperatures, though, take us from the 40s through the 50s and 60s to the mid-70s this afternoon. Very comfortable with low humidity. That extended forecast, though, does have a chance for rain coming tomorrow.
Enjoy the sunshine today, folks. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning. Have a great Monday.